What's going on, guys? Today we got a bit of a dilemma on our hands. Not really a dilemma. Old BDR over here, when we bought the Duramax, decided to talk me into putting one of these aftermarket or a factory radio out of a 2008 GMC Yukon into my Duramax. Everything was good and well. I put it in. I got theft locked out. I took it to the Chevrolet dealership here in town. $40 later, it was good to go. They untheft locked it. But what we're coming up with here is, I'll turn this off. It's all the louder the radio gets. Okay. I better turn that off or we get copyright problems. And after talking to Sweet Sounds here in Mankato, they hooked me up. They helped me out a lot. They told me, actually doing research on it, I found out that the stock, or just the truck in general, doesn't send enough power to the head unit to fully power the speakers, and that I needed an amplifier. I didn't know what the fuck they meant by that. So I went to Sweet Sounds in Mankato. They hooked me up with this fancy $200 Alpine amplifier, which wires right in. Well, not, it doesn't wire right in. It's gonna wire right in by the time we're done with it. But they hooked me up. They gave me a bunch of advice. Super helpful people. And pretty much this is what we got here. This is for the amp. We just gotta wire this into the factory radio and hook the power, ground up, remote wires. So when you turn the key on, the amp turns on. Simple amplifier installation, except advanced amplifier installation. So I figured we'd do a video on it, being that I haven't found a single video on YouTube describing how to go about this process. So I figured if there's anybody else out there, we are going to show you today the process on how to go about putting a factory radio in a non-Bose pickup. So stick along for the ride. Are you shitting me right now? He's got a whole back seat, and you want him coming up here?
I want to pet him.
You want to
listen to you blab on your radio.
Okay.
Phone. About the radio.
I see. All right, well, let's start tearing this apart, eh, Rick?
Yep.
So here's what we got going on. We got the dash tore apart. We got the radio out. Right here is the wires we need to splice into. Not color-coded at all. We'll have to look up a wiring diagram to figure it out, which I'm guessing that's what Caleb's going to do. And, but here's how we're going about doing this. Now, right here is the amp we're installing. Now, something used to be right here, and that's when you pop all this plastic shit off, which just pops down. You got two screws. You got to pop that one down first, which you got to take the fuse panel cover off, and there's a bolt that goes into the parking brake switch. You got to take that out. It looks like this. It's about 12 miles long. You take that out, that piece pops down, and then there's a screw here and a screw there, 7 mil. You take that out, and then this piece pops down. And once you get all that popped off, there's this little silver box used to mount right up under here. Now, this is what controls your OnStar. I don't have OnStar in this truck. I never plan on hooking up OnStar in this truck.
If you have OnStar in your truck, don't remove it like idiots like us.
Yep. If you have OnStar, this option probably isn't going to work for you, nor would I want to unplug it with OnStar hooked up. I got enough friends with fucking pickups and tow trucks and trailers. If something's to happen to us, I'm pretty sure someone's coming to get my ass. So I really don't need OnStar.
Just informational aspect, not sure if unplugging this pretty little silver box that he showed you previously. Do not know if that's active. It may set your airbags off. Not sure.
It sure hasn't, because it's sitting right here and the airbags haven't gone off yet. But you can unplug it. It ain't going to do anything. It doesn't activate the airbag, parking brake. It doesn't shut the truck down. It's just when you come up to your mirror, when you push the button, the fucking OnStar doesn't come on. It's pretty much all it is. But like I said, I don't have OnStar, so this doesn't apply to me. So I'm just taking it out of here. But it also works out pretty good because the amplifier that we're installing just so happens, it's a little loose. We'll make it a little bit tighter. But it just so happens to fit perfectly right where the OnStar used to. So that's where we're sitting at. Like I said, if you have OnStar and you want to keep it, this ain't the video for you because we're fucking getting rid of it. But there's probably plenty of space down here. You could probably find another spot to mount it. I know mine, the wires are from pretty much where we're sitting. The wires will be perfectly long enough by the time we dip them back into the dash. They'll be exactly where I need them to wire into the radio. So this is the route I'm going with. Like I said, if you want to keep your OnStar, this route probably isn't going to work with you, but I don't have OnStar, so I'm getting rid of it. And that's how we're going. But no, so now, once Caleb gets back with that wire diagram, we're going to splice into here, and we're going to start hooking up wires. Alrighty, we're back. It's me, Caleb, don't worry. So Caleb's doing some testing on the wires to try to figure out where we can tap our remote turn-on wire into. We're still not sure about that, but we did figure out the speaker wire. So when you come in, this is your main power harness that plugs into the back of the radio. They got it's kind of a cool deal they got. If you peel this sticky, goofy shit back, your speaker wires are actually twisted together. They're the only 4 sets of wires that are twisted together. As you can see, them are your speaker wires. 2 of them are in this connector, 2 of them are in that connector. After a little help of Google and some intermediate investigation, some R&D, this is our little spreadsheet we got written up here. So this is, your front of your vehicle. This would be the driver's door, passenger door, driver's rear, passenger rear. For your wires, your tan wire is your positive and your gray is your negative. Now I have orange and tan written here because when you look at the wires, if my camera will focus, right there, these 2 wires are the ones they're talking about. Now to me, one looks orange and one looks tan. That's why I have it written down that way, because that's just what it looks like to me, so that way I remember. But it's tan is positive, gray is a negative. And then for the rear ones, your brown's your positive and your yellow is your negative, which would be these twisted ones right there. And then dark blue and light blue, dark blue's positive, light blue's negative, which we were confused about because there's fucking 2 of the same colors here, but there's only 1 set of light blue and dark blue wires that are twisted, and assuming that the twisted wires are the speaker wires, which is the only 4 that are twisted, we would assume that these would be the positive and negative for the left rear door, and then the right rear, and then your front right door, light green is positive, green is negative. That would be tied in right there. So your front speakers are tied into the black plug, and your rear speakers are tied into this purple plug. Why? I don't know. But that's what we got figured out. But we got the amp sitting down there. We got the wires ran up. We just went into town and got some supplies, and we're going to start splicing this together. And now, being as we have the OnStar taken out, we're going to test and see. I don't know how much power that amp needs, and if I can just tap into the positive and negative off the OnStar. That's what I'm hoping to do with this. But, of course, I'm just going to stick the wires in there, and when we get everything else wired up, we'll turn the radio on, and if it doesn't give it full power, then that means, the amp's, of course, not getting powered fully. So then we'll just run a positive and negative somewhere else in the vehicle. But I'm hoping to tap into this OnStar plug because, like I said, I already have the OnStar taken out. So I'm not going to need this wire connector anyways. And if I can utilize it, we might as well. So now it's pretty much, I'm going to cry a little bit and hack my wiring harness apart, and we'll see what we come up with that operation.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Jordan's here now, too.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Alright, guys, so here's what we got going on. We got the amp all wired in. Got everything wired up. Oh, shit, we just got to shrink wrap the connectors. Right there's the amp. How I wired it into the positive and negative is being I'm not using the OnStar. I just pretty much snipped the wires right off the OnStar and hooked the positive and negative up to that. Plenty of power to run it. That I snipped as well to just run the remote turn on. This does not turn on and off with the key. So if you're hip hopping, hitch hacking your fucking OnStar, that is not a remote turn on wire. I repeat, is not a remote turn on wire. Do not wire that in thinking that when you turn the key off, your amp will shut off, because it will not. It'll stay on constantly. That is a constant power wire. So do not do that. Okay. That being said, everything works good. The radio, let me describe this first. So, on this you shitting me right now? Are you fucking shitting me? I'm trying to make a fucking video and you're over there hacking shit apart?
Fuck you, bitch.
Bullshit.
You better subscribe for that bullshit.
But no, the one thing I like about this is that it's got, oh my god.
Oh, better call.
Oh god, they gotta switch the blade out, thank god. I can make the video. So, the one thing I like about this is it actually has a front and rear. Are you shitting me? It actually has a front and rear gain. So, you can turn the gain up on your speakers. We found out that the rear speakers in this pickup, whatever. Anyways, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by an angle grinder. The one thing I like about this amp is it gives you the option, granted it's upside down, but it gives you the option of a front and rear gain, your high pass filters, all that cool shit. So we got them motherfuckers pegged out, and let me tell you what, this truck, even with stock speakers, bumps like a bitch now. So that's pretty cool. Other than the fact that we found out the rear speakers in this truck don't work. It's not how we wired it up. Everything is wired up correctly. I actually took the speaker up to my house and tested it, and it's blown. So if you wire yours up this way, your rear speakers and everything should work. The only downfall with this radio setup is that the door chimes no longer work. Which never really bothered me because I found them to be completely annoying and just pissed me off 90% of the time. So your door chimes won't work, but your radio works. So if that's alright with you, then it's alright with you, I guess. But no, so pretty much all we have left to do is shrink wrap the connectors, mount the amp back up in there, because I took it back out so I could fuck with it. Find a spot for the remote turn-on wire, and just put everything back together, and it's done deal. So we'll get her put back together, and then we'll give you a rundown of the showdown. I guess I should show you guys that the radio actually works. I completely forgot. If you would be so kind. On. Oh, it is on?
Yep.
But this will actually get way louder than a factory system will. No, that's with like the gain barely. Like, you mess with this gain, you're gonna. I barely have it turned up. I mean, you could blow some fucking speakers out with this setup now. So, I personally like it versus factory. Especially this amplifier, because it bumps. You can get way more power out of it than a factory head unit. So even if you're not wiring this up, it would be kind of nice to honestly have one of these, just because it does amplify the fuck out of your music. I mean. like, it amplifies it enough where it'll start cutting it out. So, that goes to show that power behind that little amplifier. There's Rick over there getting hard on. But yeah, so let's get this bitch put back together. Well, here's everything is shrink wrapped up in electrical tape. Definitely isn't, you know, a factory job, but I didn't think it came out too bad. Everything looks nice. Wires will still have plenty of room to go push back into the dash for the head unit and all that. Got all that wrapped up. Got that one wrapped up. Now, this is the OnStar wiring harness, mind you. What we're gonna end up doing for the remote turn on, we just got to this wire is constant power. Most of these newer pickups, or just vehicles in general, I'm knocking shit down here. Most of these newer vehicles, everything is just constant power. I don't know how that fucking figures out. Now the battery never dies, but everything's constant. So we're pretty much right down there. I drilled a hole, and I'm just gonna end up wiring in a toggle switch for that amplifier. I even Googled it multiple times, and that's pretty much the easiest way to do it. You can spend all night hunting for a wire that's a remote turn on. So that's just how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna wire it up to a switch. But I better figure a treat gets a tape job, all that shit before. I gotta put this radio back in the dash to get it out of my way, so that way I can wire all this stuff up. Once that remote turn on gets wired up, we're good. We're putting new speakers in. I can't remember if I said the excuse me, Jordan. Can't remember if I said that if the speakers worked or not, but the two rear speakers didn't work. So we just wired up. We just went to Best Buy and bought 4 of these Kenwood speakers, nothing fancy, and put them in the door. Now, how we went ahead and did this, it's kind of a custom fabrication. Looks nice and sleek what we did. As you can see, we got it bolted right into the factory housing. I don't know if Caleb's got this one ready yet. No. Yep, but he's got it open. Pretty much, we just peeled this foam back, and, oh Jesus Christ. Anyways, we pretty much just peeled this foam back, cut the speaker, like this shit out, and then it's bolted on with plastic on the back of it, or it's like formed. We just took a snipper, cut the speaker off so it fell out, and it made it a circle. And there's a little lip right here. There's flat, I don't know if you can see it kind of. Right there, that's a flat ring all the way around. We just took an angle grinder and cleaned this lip up off of it so this was all flush. And then we took just the Kenwood speaker and just set it right over that hole and just put 2 screws in it, and that's how we did that. You can see the speaker's same size, and it's bolted on there, and it's stock hookup and everything. So that's how we went about doing that. But no, let's get this head unit put in and get that shit wired up and be done with this project. Oh, Tubski! Oh, Tubski! Oh, Ricky!
I'm working.
Alright, here's where we're at, boys. God damn it, every fucking time.
Caleb!
We better leave him be.
Yeah.
He's helped me put all the speakers in. We better not yell at him. But no, so we got the head unit back in. We got the power, or the fucking temp control back in. We got the amp sitting up in there. We got the remote wire hooked up for it. Right down there is the switch. So pretty much turn the key on. Radio loads up. No, we were watching a movie. As you can see, you got sound. Reach down, flip the switch. Well, yes?
Fucking revolution.
God damn, Rick. See, okay, let me see this real quick. So this is how we're getting the speakers to work. When I said we just grind that flat piece off, you just got done doing that. You just fucking break the old speaker out pretty much. You grind that bitch flat and screw the new one right to it, and it bolts right back in. In case you guys are wondering. But oh yeah, see, no sound. Reach down here. cool shit. So that way if you, we're done with this. Could work, I mean, multiple ways. You want to piss your buddy off, you know, oh, can I borrow your truck? Yeah, sure, no problem. Keys are in it or something like that. And don't tell him to flip the switch down there and he's driving down the road. And what the fuck, man, your radio doesn't work. Well, how'd you break my radio? You know, you could do some shit like that, but...
I could see you doing that too.
I would do that to somebody for sure. But no, I thought it went pretty well. It only took me about all day to do, but I also wasn't working that hard on it. But oh yeah, radio's wired up, like I said. Right there's the amp, the switch is down there for it, and all that's left to do is put the dash back together and it's fucking done. I mean, that's what she's down to, so. But no, rundown of the showdown. Simple installation, I guess. Like I said, I mean, well, it wasn't really simple. It was definitely a challenge, but I'm always up for a challenge. That's why I kind of wanted to go this route, because it was something different. I totally could have just went to Walmart and bought a touchscreen radio with a DVD player and all that cool stuff, but, you know, who wants to do that when you can just buy this radio? And I bought the radio thinking it was going to work, and it didn't, and... because I was going for the factory look, and they sell a knockoff that looks like factory for about $200. Well, for $200, I could have bought the amp to make this radio work. So at that point, it's like, do I really want to, you know, go through and try to sell this radio or return it, or fuck that? I'll just buy this $200 amp. And it actually gave me more power and control over my speakers, so I can't complain there. So overall, I'm honestly satisfied. But no, like I said, you just snip the wires you saw in the videos on how to go about hooking the wires back up. The diagram, which is still right here. You got, yeah, so pretty much your fucking tan and gray hooks up to your white and black. Your brown positive hooks up to the green. Your yellow negative hooks up to the green and black. Your green negative hooks up to the gray and black. Your light green positive hooks up to the gray. Dark blue positive hooks up to purple. Light blue negative hooks up to purple and black. There's a spot in the video where this picture paused if any of you guys want to figure out, you know, if you want to look at the diagram for wiring it up yourself. But yeah, like I said, it's all done. It's just time to button it up. I'm 100% satisfied with how this went. Hopefully, people that are trying to do this themselves have learned something for it. Like I said, I've pretty much went off of all this, of what I've read on forums and how to go about doing this, and help with my local our music center here that does a lot of car stereos and aftermarket stuff like that. They really helped me out. Sweet Sounds, Mankato, Minnesota. Shout out to them. They hooked me up. They told me exactly what I needed to do, and I am overall satisfied with it. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And we're going to get this dash button back up and fucking go get some food, because we're about sick of this shit, aren't we, Jordan?
Yes, we are.
Aren't we, Caleb?
I'm ready for some T-Bell.
Caleb.
I'm getting free food out of this, so I can do this.
That's funny shit. Ooh, new bumpers, boys. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.